sponsored by the James Madison Council and the National Endowment for the Arts.
Hello, I'm Carla Hayden, the Librarian of Congress, and it is one of my great privileges as librarian to confer the Library's Prize for American Fiction, which we award every year during the National Book Festival. The Library of Congress Prize for American Fiction recognizes and celebrates the importance of writers, their work, and the possibilities they give us through their words. The theme of this year's festival, Open a Book, Open the World, could not be more appropriate for the writer we honor today. This award is for a lifetime career of enduring excellence. Joy Williams is a singular presence in American letters. Throughout her novels and short story collections, we encounter people who are seemingly unlike any we know yet. At the same time, face the same fears and responsibilities we all deal with. She opens new worlds for us with her bracing yet compassionate depiction of everyday life. When you open a Joy Williams book, you know you are in for a unique and rewarding experience. Joy Williams, it is my honor to present the Library of Congress Prize for American Fiction.
Oh, Dr. Carla, I'm so thrilled. I'm so grateful. This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
It matches your words, and it matches what you give all of us who are privileged enough to read.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I think we can actually embrace,
All right,
because we're vaccinated. And so congratulations, Joy, because now we'll turn the program over to Rob Casper, who is the head of the Poetry and Literature Division at the Library of Congress, for a conversation.
Thanks so much, Dr. Hayden. And Joy Williams, welcome to the Library of Congress and our historic Jefferson Building on Capitol Hill. Thanks for coming all the way out from Tucson, Arizona to be here with us.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
We're very excited to talk to you. I can't wait to hear more about your fiction. Let's start with your most recent novel that's just come out, Harrow. I'm interested in how that novel started. It's been 20 years since The Quick and the Dead, so tell us.
Well, I prefer writing short stories, but I have written 3 novels before this, and my concept didn't fit into the short form.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't working every day on the novel for 20 years. That would be psychotic. But I was doing other things. But it's an entirely different process, certainly. And I tend, when I get stuck, to throw another character in, and then they have their story. It's almost a short story about them. But then I have to remove a lot of what I've done, and I don't revise much at all in the short story. But in the novel, I extract. There are many characters in the final version that haven't been with me for those 20 years.
So it builds in characters, and then you have to prune a little bit, like it's a tree.
Right.
The novel starts with a death, or a purported death, with this character, Kristen. And tell us about that, how that first came, and then what that led to.
Well, I always had, my editor originally said, I'm really not interested in reading a novel told by a dead person. And so she's not really dead. She was dead, but no, she's no longer dead. And I'm not sure if even that satisfied her completely. But that was the concept of coming back, or to a world that had been destroyed, never having been able to grow up in the world as it was, which is now gone.
And then the novel expands with that premise to become this grand post-apocalyptic novel.
One hopes.
And we spend time with the main character and her mother. She goes off to school. she comes back, and then she ends up in this
Very-
resort. Tell us about this.
Very strange. Boy, you really want me to describe? I'm not good at describing my own work. Why don't you describe the work? And then I'll say if it's sort of what I have in mind.
Right, right. Well, tell us about this place that she ends up, and maybe what the inspiration for that place was.
Well, the place is this ruined once very fancy resort that had every amenity. And now it's just full of geriatric eco-terrorists who get jazzed up and then go off the grounds of the resort and try to correct things, like all hopelessly, of course. But I liked hanging out with the old people there, and I think I mentioned to you earlier, it's sort of based on this experience I had years ago when I was in Texas teaching at the Mishner Center. And I had dogs and we couldn't find a rental. And so I ended up being at this ruined resort. We were practically the only people there, the dogs and I. And but everything the swimming pools were all empty and cracked. And, some of the rooms were just full of paintings, other rooms just full of mirrors that they had taken from other rooms. So that was certainly the basis. Lake Travis.
Did you do a lot of writing of the book there?
No, that I hadn't started. I hadn't started the novel by then.
But it echoed as
Right.
you discovered this place,
Right.
and then the characters within.
Exactly. I loved that was ready-made.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Tell us about Jeffrey, who we meet at this institute.
You really want me to describe this book, right?
I'm interested in
Well,
how you talk
I'm
about it.
fond of this character.
Yeah.
He's a 10-year-old boy who wants to be a judge. He was at birth, he wanted to be a judge. And he's always studying, and he speaks in the way of the judiciary in the court.
And
And he reads Kafka.
And he reads Kafka, and the
His grandfather read Kafka
Mhm,
too,
mhm.
as a younger child, than he is in the course of the book.
and the fates of Kirsten and Jeffrey intertwine at the end and around a Kafka story. And can you tell us how you got to that Kafka
I
story?
remember that story. It's the Hunter Gracchus, and you were talking about resetting, the gesture of reset. He returned to that story and wrote part 2, which gives no more enlightenment into the situation at all. But Jeffrey uses this story and the interpretation of the story almost as a test and an invitation to imagine the world in a different way. Because if you know the story, the Hunter Gracchus is on the ship that was supposed to be his death ship, but it never went to the right place. So he's eternally, he keeps visiting towns, and the townspeople always are very excited to see him as though he's a dignitary, but then have asked the dumbest questions. I mean, again, it's all very elusive. But I like that story.
Well, and it's interesting to think about it in light of how the novel starts too. And this whole notion of being undead, being still alive and wandering. And there's so much wandering that happens in the novel, especially compared to The Quick and the Dead, which is really about this one place. And also just so much action with the apocalypse worsening and worsening, in the sense that outside of the frame, everything is falling apart even more so.
That sounds good.
Was it fun to move to a novel that had so much action and movement and travel?
No, I find I've never enjoyed writing. I mean, some people, bless their hearts, really enjoy it. Can't wait to, it's hard for me. I mean, I don't know. I was going to have to give you a Thomas Mann quote that was kind of wonderful about, you can tell a writer by how difficult it is for this person to write. And maybe there's some truth in that.
It's interesting you talk in your essay, Why I Write, about this very difficulty of writing. And you also talk about this idea that a writer writes something that is slightly out of their control. And yet I know you have this great list of attributes of what a short story is right here to talk about.
Can I read that, my little list?
I would love to have you read that list. And then I want to talk about the issue of control versus lack of control. So please tell us about this list and read it for us.
Well, this was requested. I'm not sure now the provenance of this, but I guess at the time the stories came out, this is one of the questions of the day, you know, it's not what's on your bedside table, but what are the 9 lessons you can give, or what are the requirements of a short story. So this has been written on some sort of bar, shiny, nice paper from Hawk and Dove, actually. But, so here's a number of things. Number 1, there should be a clean, clear surface with much disturbance below. And then it should, number 2, it should have a spiritual level underneath. Number 3, sentences that can stand strikingly alone. I think that's very important for a short story. An animal within to give its blessing. Interior voices which are or will become wildly exterior. And that goes into dialogue, when I discovered the thrills of dialogue, because early on it was all just writing. Nobody said anything, or if they did, it was very awkward and strained. And then I realized what you could do with dialogue. It's crazy. Control throughout is absolutely necessary. And then the story's effect should transcend the naturalness and accessibility of the arc of its language. And 8 would be a certain coldness is required in execution. It is not a form, this is the story, that gives itself to consolation. But if consolation is offered, it should come from an unexpected source. And then one way it differs from the novel wants to befriend you, and a short story almost never.
Is that why you prefer the short story versus the novel, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a much harsher judgment, tale judgment of short story.
Let's talk about control and about that sense of needing to control the short story. And yet, as I said in Why I Write, you talked about how story should, I believe, be devastating and beautiful and slightly beyond the writer's control. That sort of tension between what you can contain, especially in beautiful sentence after beautiful sentence, and what you can't.
Well, when you start writing, that first page, and there's so many forms or shapes around you. You know, it's what somebody said yesterday, or the hopes you have with the story, or memory, and how you're choosing different things from the past, and then that all drops away. I think, and even you as a writer, you disappear. But then, of course, you have to go back not as long for the novel, but you have to go back in that room every day and allow yourself to disappear and have something, that lack of control, those gifts. I mean, every writer receives these sentences sometimes. Where do they come from? And you just have to be certainly accepting of them, but open to them.
Sentences are such a beautiful and important part of your work. These sort of crystalline, powerful, darkly comic sentences. And I want to talk about what sentences do. You know, how you think about sentences, how you think about what you need to take out of a sentence.
You can't think too much. It doesn't have to be kind of dumb, you know. I mean, and ready, but beautiful. You know, certainly you have to have a great respect and love of words. One of my stories, a little girl is taken to the big city, which in this case is Portland, Maine, to a matinee. And she just loves that word. She said, matinee, matinee, matinee. It's that some words are gorgeous, and you know, respect them.
Do you have a sense, though, of when a sentence is too full of things or goes off in a way that it shouldn't, you know, and what it means to make it so crystalline, so powerful, so packed with beauty and,
Oh
and
my God.
awfulness and insight?
Yeah. I can't. I even try to teach, sometimes teach at the University of Wyoming with younger writers. And, you know, I don't have any sort of, I mean, these are writing tips, but they're also so abstract that they're not really helpful, you know, and that's what they crave. But then as they continue to write, they realize that there's no specific guidance for what they do.
You brought up the idea of getting into a story in the first couple of sentences and the possibilities there. And I know at one point you referenced that Joe Didion quote about how you can get stuck in a story in the first two sentences or a piece of all your options. But I'm really interested in where you travel to, and as someone who loves and champions poetry, where you get to in the end, your endings. They can be just devastating lines. They can be the titles themselves, as in your most recent book of short stories.
Oh, that was fun. I say I never have fun. And, that was rather fun to do. Those 99 Stories of God. And I loved having the title at the end and inventing the title.
Was that what was fun about them?
Yeah. That really was. And I meant that to be sort of a surprise and another level that would be added to the story. But again, I was having fun in this because I was talking about the Lord showing up. I mean, talking to wolves or trying to get his a shot, a tetanus shot at the pharmacy, or going to a bed and breakfast in Maine with bats. But I realized that I just couldn't have the Lord show up in every story like that, because when he did, it was sort of magical. But I knew I couldn't press that too hard. So
yeah, you had to
even when something goes well, you know, when you really invented something you can't, then you've got to put it aside.
You had to be subtle or careful with your use of the Almighty.
Right. It was as a novel of mine, The Quick and the Dead. There was a dead person in there, Ginger, and Ginger and Carter, very quarrelsome couple, and they continued to quarrel after she died. But I realized that was fun too, and I couldn't keep that up. Get serious.
Well, and it's interesting, that character then becomes, Ginger becomes the character that lures one of the two men in the story to his death by falling on all these mirrors.
Yes.
So she becomes a bit of a, not just an undead character, but a bit of a demon. Yes, exactly.
But this all sounds very gothic. I don't think I really... Gothic writing about dead people all the time. So don't get the wrong impression.
Well, I am interested. Your father was a preacher, a minister, and you have all of his sermons. And I wonder if those sermons in any way impacted how you think about storytelling.
Well, I think, and my grandfather was a preacher too, Welsh Baptist, and he won the Stedford century ago now in Wales, which is the palm of the nation. So I think I did the ritual, the liturgy. I think I got a sense of rhythm from that. And again, it's comfort, and yet it's tragic. It's frightening. It's scary, and yet there's this weird comfort that comes from the church service and the hymns. Oh, I love the hymns. Could I give my little Isaac Watts quote? I've been thinking of this.
Please.
I'm not sure what the title of the thing is, but it was, "Let every creature rise and bring peculiar honors to our King." And I love those lines because I think it's just what an artist does or a writer tries to do. And they are peculiar lines, peculiar gifts that we have. I mean, we have strange gifts, and we want to bring them forth.
Well, that leads me to a question about the theme of this year's book festival, which is Open a Book, Open the World. And can you talk about how writers and books, through their strange gifts, have opened the world to you?
Oh, absolutely. Every book, it's like every day can offer a little treasure. And browsing. I have a large. Well, it's not like Susan Sontag's library or anything. I mean, people probably have larger home libraries, but I'm really constantly running out of space and adding new bookcases or tables or something. And yeah, that's such a treasure to go to books that you've loved in the past, like The Magic Mountain, or Thomas Wolfe or something. Just read them again and discover new books.
What do you think that books and reading may have offered you and everyone else who turned to them during this time of the pandemic, this time when we've been forced indoors and disconnected from others?
Well, I think it brought a lot of people back to reading, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, were they streaming? Were they, I would hope that they return to books.
Yeah. Well, and what books offer us. I was thinking too about specifically what fiction offers us, what characters offer us, and about two characters in your preceding novels, Alice and the Quick and the Dead, and Lola and the Institute in Harrow, and how they might humanize and help us better understand this sort of impulse that you talk about or address in Animal People, your essay. You know, how you look at the natural world, how you contend with just what we've done to it and what we've done to these creatures among us, and how these characters help us in a kind of slant way understand that maybe prose, maybe nonfiction wouldn't.
Oh, I think fiction is poised to be very, very important in the coming years of the climate disaster. I mean, much more than nonfiction, really. And I haven't really figured this out to say it in a lovely, concise way, but I don't think nonfiction is going to serve us well. I think it's the imagination of which, and we need a lot of imagination, in the years ahead. And I think that's what fiction will do. It always has. It's not recognizing yourself in a character, but seeing something really new, that something underneath, the hidden streams of life. And I think fiction is going to get away from sort of our petty concerns of, social, what is it, relationships. I told my kids in Wyoming that don't write to me about relationships. This is an animal or a mountain. And so I think fiction is wonderful things are going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and your characters in your short stories and in your novels speak in really profound, even biblical ways. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that can happen and be beautiful and impactful in fiction that you couldn't necessarily get away with in nonfiction.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, again, going back to dialogue and just having people just all be really eloquent in ways that are impossible. They seem to know everything and read, all the philosophers and care deeply about language and the situation. It was fun. Fun to see that what dialogue offers.
Yeah. Well, it's been so fun to talk to you today. Thanks for coming to the library.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on being
I'm so thrilled. It's such a thrill.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you as our 2021 Library of Congress Prize for American Fiction winner. Joy Williams, so good to have you at this year's National Book Festival. And can't wait to hear more about the books you're working on to come.
Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed this conversation, and now we'd like you to hear more from the library's own experts on this topic.
Hi, I'm Abby Yokelson. I have the privilege of being a reference librarian in the gorgeous and inspiring main reading room here at the Library of Congress. We like to think of the main reading room as the heart of the Library of Congress, and it's definitely the gateway to the millions of books and periodicals in the general collections. The vast majority of fiction, or any sort of literature, is found through the main reading room. I'd like to congratulate Joy Williams on receiving the 2021 Library of Congress Prize for American Fiction. As she mentions in her interview, she believes the pandemic has brought more people back to reading. If you're stuck inside and can't wander out in the world, you can wander in a book. Joy Williams' recently published novel, Harrow, is set in a post-apocalyptic world, and there have always been a substantial number of books on the subject out there. It seems like many people were reading books on this theme during the pandemic, and it's my personal opinion that they read such terrifying novels to assure themselves that their worlds during COVID could have been far worse. In the past year, there's been a lot written and discussed about how poetry can provide solace during difficult times. Ms. Williams points out that fiction can do the same. As one of the reference specialists in English and American literature in the Researcher and Reference Services Division here at the library, I frequently receive questions that begin with, "I can't remember the author or the title, but the plot is something like this." And right now, I can see all the librarians watching this exclaiming, "We get those questions too. I can't believe the Library of Congress also answers them." We receive hundreds of these questions a year, and we have certainly seen an uptick in these queries during the pandemic. While many people were busier than ever while locked down, others had increased time to read. They also had time to sit around and think how they would like to reread an old favorite if only they could remember the title of the book. And just in case you're wondering, we also answer all sorts of questions about literature. Whether it's a high school student needing primary sources for a senior thesis on Arthur Miller's The Crucible, or a scholar writing about the rise of eco-fiction, or a novelist wondering if a character in the 1970s could have gotten a copy of Kate Chopin's Awakening from a public library, we do try to help. And if you go ahead and read Harrow and get confused or curious about Franz Kafka and his mysterious story, The Hunter Gracchus, drop us a line. You can reach us through Ask a Librarian, found on the Library of Congress's homepage, loc.gov. Scroll down a ways on the page, and you'll see Ask a Librarian under the beautiful mosaic of Minerva. While we might not be quite as brilliant as the goddess of wisdom, we try our best. And I wish you much joy in reading.